I talked about the possibility or prospect of this fight happening in a video I did a week or so ago. And now it is apparently happening. It's now official. Dominic Breazeale will fight Izu Ugonoh on the undercard of Wilder versus Warchek. And that card is taking place on February 25th in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm going to quote Dominic Breazeale. He says, "We had a couple of changes. Spilka wanted to push things back, wanted more time to train. I'm one of those guys who wants to constantly be in the ring. If it were up to me, I'd be in there once a month. It's one of those situations where I can't wait any longer. Let's get things rocking and rolling. I can't wait any longer." He goes on to say, "I've never heard of him. This is the first time I've heard of him. I've just learned about him 2 weeks ago. He's 17-0. He stands about 6'3", 230 pounds. A lot of his fights have been in New Zealand. I know he's trained alongside guys like Joseph Parker and things like that. So I know he's got the experience. We'll see on the night. Physically, psychologically, I'm definitely there. I took some time off, self-evaluated, learned from my loss. You learn a lot more from a loss than you do with a win because you're critiquing yourself a lot more. I've learned a ton. I'm physically there, ready to go. Can't wait to do it." So those are the words of Dominic Breazeale, and the loss he was obviously referring to was the one he had to Anthony Joshua in 2016. A lot of people say they prefer this fight than the Spilka fight. Breazeale-Spilka, they prefer Breazeale-Ugonoh. Then again, there's a lot of people who said they would have preferred the Spilka fight. Breazeale-Spilka. Me, I can't really make my mind up, but I do kind of feel bad for Spilka. And I don't really understand why, because here they're saying Spilka wanted to push things back. But in the previous information that came out about this situation, they never mentioned anything about Spilka wanting to push things back. They mentioned something about the television network not being happy that there were two guys coming off losses fighting each other, which I don't see a problem with. It's a crossroads fight. If anything, it makes it more interesting because nobody wants to lose twice in a row. Yeah, so they're going to fight hard. And they're going to look at the other guy as beatable because he just lost. You understand? So, yeah, I didn't mind it at all from that perspective, but apparently the television company didn't like it. That's what came out in the previous press reports. So here we have Ugonoh versus Breazeale. In one sense, I am happy for this fight because we get to see Ugonoh finally in there with a live body. Prior to this, he'd only been fighting absolute journeyman with no ambition at all. Now he's going to fight Breazeale, and we know Breazeale has got heart. We know Breazeale comes to fight. He's not the most skilled heavyweight. He's certainly not the fastest, but he's very, very big, and he's got heart. He showed heart, first of all, in the Amir Mansour fight, which he won. And he showed heart in his loss to Anthony Joshua. He hung tough in there. He was obviously nowhere near on Joshua's level in terms of athleticism, skill, speed, so on and so forth. But he tried his best while he was in there, but ultimately took a battering. You know, he didn't just lay down like Eric Molina. I mean, you should have seen the state of Dominic Breazeale's face after the Anthony Joshua fight. He posted some pictures online, and my days, he looked like he'd been hit by a truck. That was just in 7 rounds, whatever it was. So, yeah, he's got heart. And he'll come to fight, and he'll certainly fancy his chances against Ugonoh, who he knows not much about. Ugonoh, they say, is 6'3". I think he was originally listed at 6'5". And now they're saying he's 6'3". Okay, I guess he's smaller than I thought he was, and that does change things a little bit. There'll be a very, very big height difference in this fight if Ugonoh really is only 6'3", and weight difference as well. How will Ugonoh approach the fight? Will he be aggressive? Will he try and use lateral movement and box a little bit? It's a pretty tough assignment for Ugonoh, considering it's his first fight with Al Haymon. People often accuse Al Haymon of putting his fighters in with pushovers and what have you. But I think it was Andre Berto who was talking recently about the whole PBC model and Al Haymon. And he said, the time for having easy fights is over. Al Haymon is now matching everybody tough. And I think that was always the plan for Al Haymon anyway. But he's obviously been refining his business model. He needed to find out exactly what worked and what didn't work. And here we are in 2017, he's matching his fighters tough. And he has matched his fighters tough all along the way to some extent, but there have been other fighters who've had a lot of gimme fights too. But certainly here, for Ugonoh's first fight under Al Haymon, this is no pushover for him. Let's not get it twisted. And we've obviously got Garcia Furman, which is a fight we all want to see. That's an Al Haymon fight. We've got Leo Santa Cruz versus Carl Frampton, the rematch. Those are two Haymon fighters, so on and so forth. So yeah, Haymon's matching his guys tough now, and this is another example of it. So let me know what you think of this fight, people. Dominic Breazeale versus Izu Ugonoh, the Polish-Nigerian. Who do you think is going to win the fight? What do you think Ugonoh's approach is going to be? I mean, I don't think Breazeale really has many options in terms of the way he's going to approach this fight from a tactical point of view. He's going to try and walk Ugonoh down, use a jab and let off combinations. That's what he's going to try and do. I don't think Breazeale's going to try and lay back and stick a jab and force Ugonoh to come to him, or he might. I mean, I've never seen Breazeale fight like that before. He certainly didn't fight like that against Amir Mansour, but perhaps he's learned certain things and maybe he thinks that's what he's learned from the Joshua fight, although Joshua and Ugonoh are chalk and cheese, totally different style fighters. So who knows? But I would imagine Breazeale is going to fight one way, whereas Ugonoh, I'm not sure. Given the fact he's never been in there with a live body before, given the fact he has been in with big guys before, but certainly not a big guy who actually came to win. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let me know how you feel about it. Are you disappointed it's not Spilka? Or are you happy it's Ugonoh? Let me know. It's Hatman, I'm out.